2025. Please stand and join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. First of all, I want to thank Sharon for leading the meeting last month. I watched you all on video. There was a lot to discuss last week, so if I'm going to miss one, that's the one, our last month. If I'm going to miss one, that's the one I missed.
It's a pleasure.
You did a good job. Okay, folks, as we do, we have those minutes for that meeting last month. There's a lot to read. Hopefully everyone's read them. And any questions, any changes, anything like that? If not, I need a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Thank you, Isaac. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. Going around the room.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Thank you, guys. Everyone has a copy of the treasurer's report. Any questions for Melinda on the treasurer's report? Okay. Seeing none, we'll move to bills for payment. And I do know I had one question, and I'll let Melinda talk about this one, the PD camera equipment. You want to just update?
That's line 5.
Yeah.
Line 5, yes, line 5.
Yeah, so if you notice on line 5 of the big ARPA spreadsheet, this one?
No, line 5 on the bill list.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
it is on the ARPA spreadsheet.
Yeah, so that was allocated on the ARPA spreadsheet.
Right.
I tried to get that paid a couple of years ago, but could not get a bill for it. So they are billing us for it now. This was for year 3, 4, and 5 of the contract for the body worn cameras with Axon. So.
And so that's why I printed off
Yes.
the new ARPA list, and that's item number, it's under item number 30 on the ARPA list. I think it says pay off PD debt, and you can see the third line under that is the Axon. So that $11,628 over to the next to the last column, or second to the last column, that's what had been paid up to this point. And then you can see
We had allocated $98,000, just never received the remaining.
So that's why there was only 35,000 of that paid, so now that'll complete that part of the ARPA spreadsheet.
And we can get that off.
Yes.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions on any other line items?
And I also added the waste management bill, that's why it's highlighted in yellow for you all.
So that's their last bill. Okay. If there's no questions, I need a motion to approve the bills.
I make a motion we pay the bills.
Thank you, Sharon. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Isaac. All those in favor going around the room?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Okay, I can say it now. I couldn't really say it last time, but I did. You have anything for us, Chief?
Yes, the police department was awarded the ECGS grant for the radar message board trail. It would be utilized for obviously speed, not only speed, but message board. The public works can use it as well as if they have, water leak or they need help directing traffic to warn drivers. Next, just a reminder, the National Night Out is August 5th from 5 to 7 at the American Legion Park. We will have a dunking booth this year, so if any councils or mayor would like to sit in our dunking booth, please let us know.
When is this again?
August 5th at the American Legion Park.
The way it feels nowadays,
I believe one of our officers has volunteered to sit in the dunking booth, so I'm dunk the officer, and one council members like to sit in. Love to have it.
Okay. I mean, if I'm around, I'm game. I'm around that day. Okay. Now, as far as the grant? Do we want to do anything with that now or wait till later?
I would do it now.
Okay.
It seems the appropriate time to have it on my list of things to.
So the grant total was 19,000 some odd dollars, correct?
Project total was 19,000.
Yeah, that's a project total, yes, 19,202, I believe.
And I know we were going to put it in our budget, but we decided to see how the grant went. And what is the percentage? What do we have to put in, 25% of it?
25% match, I believe the county portion is going to be a little over 4,000.
A little over $4,000. Seems fairly obvious what we should do, but do we have a motion to approve that $4,000 spend, or the spending, the 25% match, or 25% of the grant?
I make a motion to, match the fund, the 25%, pay for the 25% of the $19,000.
You got it.
There we go.
It's about 4,000, I showed it's $4,402.
$4,402.
Yes, $4,402.
Like she said. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Did you let me get it taken?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Good deal. Thank you, Chief. Yeah, let's see. We're way, what time's public? It's 7.
7:10, so we're not there yet.
It's not there. Okay, you want to do some public work, so we'll come back? Okay.
As you all, as the council's heard, with just from emails we've been sending out, Chris's report, we've had quite a time. It's been quite a challenging past couple of weeks. Had several water leaks, especially on the Getz Drive water line, and that one, we were losing a significant amount of water. The guys have done a great job on that. Spent lots of long days out there going through nettle weeds, stinging nettle, burning legs, things like that, to find out where this line is. Chris called in the Virginia Rural Water Association, and they actually brought in the guy, the representative for them that does this part of the state, and then he actually called in one of his counterparts from the Eastern Shore, and he came in so they could have two on site. They did some correlation and helped our crew find that line. So I think we probably know more about that line now than what we've ever known before, which is good. They've cut in some valves, trying to isolate these leaks, and they've repaired, I think it was 3 major leaks that they repaired on that, and it considerably helped our tank levels. There were a couple other things going on with that, some water troughs that had been turned on, and they knew, even the property owners, not sure why they were turned on or how they got turned on, and they were overflowing. So it was a bunch of different components that went together that really affected our tank levels. Our guys trying to keep enough water, keep from losing water in the tank. And so they got this stuff repaired, and we are gaining water in the tanks now like we should be. And you also saw in Chris's report that they were going to work on the spring. The flow of the spring is, something's going on with the spring. We don't know. They've been doing a lot of different things back there. They're going to get into that really heavy on Monday and see if they thought it was airlock, which has happened before, but that when they did their technique for clearing that up like they've done, I don't know, a year and a half or so ago, whatever it was, it didn't work this time. And so they've actually had the camera, stuck the camera down in there, I think today, at least into the drain side of it. They said that was pretty full of sediment, like you go just a little ways and it'd be completely blocked. So they get that cleaned out and then looking at some of the valve situations out through there to see if there's something wrong with the valves too. But they're working on that to get that source back up and strong like it should be, and like it came back a couple of years ago after they cleared everything out.
So the water's running out on top, it's just making it down to the bottom.
So Chris told me that there's plenty of water coming into the spring house, and then, but we're not getting that flow from the spring house to the chlorination building. And he said then it's even diminished from the chlorination building down to the big concrete reservoir out there too. So I don't know if it's sediment that's got in there with with a lot of the rain and everything, or what it is, but that's what they're looking to figure out. So, and with that Getz Drive water line, I've talked to Quentin about it in the past, and I'm talking to Quentin's office, Catherine, about that coming up, especially when Quentin gets back. And we'll start going through those deeds. I've got all the deeds compiled and all of that to see what needs to be done to kind of improve that situation. And, you know, just from the comments that were made by some of the property owners out there that are on that line, that's how they get their water, they would be more than happy to become customers, true customers of the town. So I think it's probably a good time for everything aligning to get that corrected. So we'll get on that one. And
If you need us to do any research, let us know and we'll get it on the list.
yeah, I had told Quinn before, I have a map made up of all of where the deeds are, best that we can figure those, because a lot of the deeds were 19 teens. And so the property's been divided and subdivided, you know, over the years. So that's kind of your all's area of expertise, of
Right. putting
putting together that puzzle of which properties were granted with rights. So we'll get that going.
How many homes are back there on that, roughly?
We have 4 houses that are actually on that line.
I think so.
And then there's a few watering troughs, some hydrants. The hydrant was kind of a big tip-off of when the heavy rains came through. We had that 5 inches of rain in a matter of hours. And the water came down through. One of the residents back there said it looked like somebody, like a dam had burst. And it was just a big kind of wall of water that came down the creek back there. And all of the debris snapped off one of the hydrants. It was just a yard hydrant, and it snapped it off. And so that was the first place that we started capping that, to see if that, and it didn't really make any difference. It was like a bunch of different ones, you know. Wait the dyke, put his finger in the hole, so. I also sent out, we met with Tractor Supply, the county residents, about water, the continuing water drainage scenario on Virginia Avenue. It's a natural water drainage area. Tractor Supply is wanting to go in and make improvements, so they're trying to come up with a plan to present to the residents. And they, from what we heard on Tuesday evening, it sounded like they have a good idea of what they want to do. But the biggest hindrance is that there's not an easement for that drainage swale that goes down through that anybody can find. I've looked for multiple times. The county's looking for it now. The county engineer that was there, he said he's looking at that to see if VDOT has an easement. VDOT said that they told me in the past multiple times that they don't have an easement. If he can produce something, that's great. But otherwise, still, it's kind of need to work their way on and get those easements in place. Obviously, trash collection, everybody knows how that started off as a major fiasco. But the mayor and I met with representatives from Meridian on Monday, and they discovered where their breakdown was, and they're addressing that issue. It seemed like when they came back in on Saturday to collect everything throughout the town, I came out and checked, and it looked like it went really well on Saturday. I had a few reports of different places that were missed, but it wasn't entire streets this time. It was cans here or there. We do know that there was some confusion with residents knowing what day to put their containers out on. So Cecilia's done a good job. She's going to get posting on that on, I think on Sunday maybe, or they had it scheduled for this weekend sometime to come out. And it's a much clearer depiction on paper of, if you're on this street, this is your day. If you're on this street, this is your day. We've had some of the residents who called in that had their trash missed. We asked them, said, what day did you put it out? And they literally did not read their letter that the town sent to them or look at the sticker on the container, so they didn't know what day it was going to be.
Well, I think that stemmed from all the confusion from the fiasco that it started with. Everybody anticipated those days, it wasn't picked up to those days, so people didn't realize, well, do we pay attention to what the top of the trash can says? That was my idea, that's why I asked you. I mean, again, I drove around and there's still some places in town where trash is not empty.
I checked with all my neighbors, and my neighbors are like, I put it out Monday morning like 8 o'clock. Well, they came through at 6 o'clock. So that on mine, they put it out. They're used to putting it out later in the afternoon because that's when the truck comes in. And now these guys are getting there early because it's hot, I guess, and getting it done. And so, yeah, I'm hoping, because they're not taking it back in, so they're going to be picked up whatever Monday or Tuesday, and hopefully we get the pattern in there and can straighten it out. Yeah, I mean, basically our conversation with them is we know things there could be hiccups and changeover. But all we wanted to do is for someone to tell us the absolute truth when things are going on. And what was happening is this person here was telling this person what they wanted to hear, and this person what they hear, and they were passing it on to us. And they found out that, but they were being told they're coming here when they'd send them somewhere else, basically.
I checked with Grotto's because they did the switch over too, and they said, we expect to have hiccups. Anytime you have a transition like that, you expect to have hiccups. Ours was not a hiccup, ours was like.
But it was terrible.
Flawed.
There's no truth about it. It was terrible.
And Grotto said that they had hiccups, but they said really it wasn't that bad. And what we've heard, at least about secondhand from the other locations, I think they had 9 different localities that launched that week. And we were the ones that ended up with we were the ones that ended up in the bad situation. I think the others kind of went as you would have expected a transition like that to go. And we were the unfortunate ones to experience that. So we appreciate everybody's patience with it. I mean, I quit asking for people to be patient because we were very impatient in the office. And I mean, the office, Melinda and Michelle and Cecilia did a great job of answering phones and being very patient with people as they called in because we understood everybody was frustrated. So they did a great job. So.
We had lots of phone calls.
We had
Lots and
lots
lots
of
of phone calls, which is fine.
But it's not a bad thing because it does help. I mean, without phone calls, we're not going to know what was and wasn't missed.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's all that I have for Public Works. Unless anybody has any questions on anything.
I mean, given what you got, I think the staff did a great job of staying calm and trying to tell the people what's going on. But it was a tough situation all around. Okay. So let's move down to the public hearings. The first one we have, AC, is the 2024-2025 budget amendment. As everyone saw in their memo, we allocated the ARPA funds to certain projects over the years. And as they are done, we have to do a budget amendment to add them to that year's budget, the budget year in which the projects happen. And you'll see where AC originally set it out, it was 500 some odd thousand, but he realized that we had budgeted some ARPA funds last year. And so really the amount we're looking at, I'll let you take it from there.
Sure, yeah, so I mean, it probably looks like a complete mess when you look at this. It makes sense to me, but I'm the one. But the red box at the bottom is the number that we're looking at for what the budget needs to be amended. That's the total amount of all of the ARPA fund projects that were paid in that fiscal year minus the ones that were included in the budget document. And if anybody needs any explanation on anything, it was 3 different lines where those, the bottom ones came from. There was, if you go back to your, I didn't provide everybody with a new budget, but if you go back to that budget document or look at it on the town's website, it was the capital outlay for streets in the general fund. That was where the Christmas lights and Daisy Lane paving were allocated. It was capital outlay in water for the valve replacement, meter reading upgrade, and half of the public works truck. And then capital outlay in sewer for half of the public works, the other half of the public works truck, and for the trailer for the hauling heavy equipment. So that's where all of that was allocated in those 3 different lines.
It's also nice to see that when you look at it, you talk in 12,800 under budget too for the ones too. So that's good to see also. Okay, so I'm going to open this up to any public comments. Public comment on the 24-25 budget amendment, which like we said is the utilization of the ARPA funds. Now's the time to come forward. Okay, then I'll close this public comment. Council, and the council, we need a motion to approve it, so we're going to amend the budget and I guess get it to our auditors, right?
Well, before you do that, I am so impressed. What was budgeted and then how much actual That is amazing
So-
how close.
Yeah, so keep in mind though, on the South Main Street valve replacement, that's the one that's really big, but there's still more work to be done under that one.
Right.
But yeah, as far as the others go.
I mean, the others within hundreds of dollars.
Right.
That, good. That's all. I make a motion that we approve the budget amendment of $412, 338, 10 cents.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? See if Isaac want to jump on it right away.
If you add all these up, are they supposed to come to 429?
It comes to 545 is what it comes to. You got 146 and 412, right? The grand total of what he has should be 545. Is that not correct?
Yeah, that's right.
The total, is the total not total at 545?
I'm right, but I got $515,090.
Add I did the same thing, Isaac, when I was doing it at one point.
Oh, is it the 30,585 under sewer?
Right, that's the other half of that truck, so does that bring you up, that should bring you up to that 545 then, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I say, I did the same thing, the way I have those figures scattered around,
Hey,
I missed it the
Please,
first
please
time.
someone's checking the numbers for sure.
That's right.
Thank you, Isaac.
Keeps us honest.
Now do you approve?
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
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 Yep. Got to keep AC honest, right?
That's right.
There you go.
I'm never offended when people check my work.
No, exactly, yeah. It's very easy to hit the wrong boxes and stuff like that sometimes.
For sure.
Okay, the next thing we have is the franchise agreement, and you're the expert on this.
I am far from the expert on this, and we're going to stumble our way through this one because this is the first time we've done one this way. So,
Okay.
basically, we had a request from Dominion asking about it, getting a franchise, and it's the primary reason we have, and I'm sorry, I forgot your name already.
I'm David Henny, I'm with Dominion, I'm a project manager for the one to get the fiber built for Rockingham County.
So if you have anything to add to this as I try to fumble my way through it, feel free. But there's, and Catherine can help me on this too, because she's been included in all the emails of questions. Basically, there's state code, Code of Virginia, that requires this be done in a specific way. And so we had to put the ad out, which we did, to notify everybody that we were accepting bids or proposals for electric and broadband infrastructure to be added in the right of way. So that's what a franchise agreement is. We have one with Comcast that allows them to put the cables in the public right of way. I think the main intent of this with Dominion is that they want, this is the, what Quentin calls it the middle mile, I think is what it's called. Correct, is that correct? So it's filling in the gaps for the broadband services. That's kind of the big intent of this. If you,
Yeah, basically what franchise boils down to is we don't have language in the old 85 franchise agreement that was signed to be able to get the middle mile out. I'll give you a perfect example. When we build fiber into Timberville, you got 3/4 of a mile of fiber's going to be into Timberville, then it's 12 miles going out. It's going to feed all of the customers out. We're using the fiber for two things. One, for our equipment. We'll update all this, we got it real nice, when the lights go out, you'll start jumping around and keep your lights on. The excess fiber, we're selling to ISP, which is a provider, and I'm not sure who's out here. And they hook the houses up. They picked up all the kids during COVID that didn't have fiber and so on. But basically what it is your 85 agreement. It's no stipulation in there for fiber, and under the Rural Broadband Act of Virginia, we have to come and ask for a franchise agreement. And for construction purposes, the only thing will go on that pole will be one piece of fiber, 3/4 inches around, 6 inches underneath our neutral, which is existing. And it goes right on out of town. And it'll be, you'll see fiber loops at our main equipment, like our reclosers and so on. But that is what the language is for the rural broadband. I met with all of the supervisors when they done the groundbreaking for Rockingham County, and it is a big push because they want to be, and I expect all the towns do, want to be in the whatever century it is now. They want to be top notch. So that's what we're doing, and that's the addendum, I believe it would be to it.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
And so it was properly advertised, and the close date for the submittals was 5 o'clock today. We received one, and that was from Dominion. So I didn't even open it. Typically, we would open bids as they come in after that cutoff date. But just to try and read through the code, I'm like, I don't know, because it talks about presenting them in open meetings. So we'll just open it now.
And everyone's electric bill will go down $20.
I wish. I've been there 39 years, and that don't mind it.
Doesn't hurt gas.
Ma'am,
Doesn't hurt gas.
that's a fact.
So I don't know that we actually need to have a public hearing on this. It just needs to be advertised and then open to the public. We left it on that as a,
I'll open up to the public right now because I don't think anyone else is going to. Just open up public hearing. Anyone has any questions or comments on the franchise agreement with Dominion? Seeing none?
I would like to do is hand this over to Catherine, and while we conduct other business, maybe you can kind of glance through it, see if it's something that needs further review, or if we can just accept it the way it is, or if council can make a motion to accept that upon the affirmative review of the council, if we need to take longer to review it.
Okay. So we'll just continue on then. Business and industry. Tractor Supply is still scheduled for November 1.
Tractor Supply is still on schedule. Pueblito Bakery is open now, so everybody gets a chance to go in there. I went in and visited, and then Cecilia actually went down and ordered something for me because I didn't know what to get.
Us too.
Yeah, so she went down and ordered everything, something for us.
Delicious.
And it was very good. And I'm assuming they're going to continue to grow the grocery section of it. The bakery section, if you've been in there, I think it's a very cool display that they have for the bakery, the way it's lit, the display case. So it's a great addition. Plus, he has his food truck out front then, which will continue to operate too. So that's at 193 Macaulay Drive. And then Dollar General, as everybody knows, probably knows, is now open. That's right across from the town office here on the southwest corner of the intersection. I think I saw somebody going in there today, I believe.
It's very nice. If you haven't been in there yet, it's very nice.
Very nice. It is.
Very
Very
nice.
nice.
It is. It's very nice in there. So.
I didn't realize it was that much of a grocery store, Dollar General, but very nice.
And then I reported last month about the Walmart fueling station, and I did attend the pre-application meeting for that project, which was hosted by Rockingham County. And so myself and then representatives from Rockingham County and VDOT all had expressed some of the same concerns. A lot of it was more about the entry in and out. And the engineers definitely said they're going to take that under advisement. But I wouldn't expect, they told us not to really probably expect any kind of plans or anything until later in the year. I think they're just making sure they take their time on it and get everything ironed out. But they just wanted to kind of get a feel of the process. It's different everywhere. And with us being split up, different responsibilities for the town and county, they want to make sure they have all of that in order. So, but that would be another great addition to the town to have another.
Does that give you an idea when they anticipate? Is that a next year project?
I would assume it would have to be next year.
They do these projects so quick sometimes.
Yeah, as I say, for no more structure than what's going to be there, I wouldn't imagine it would take all that long, especially after seeing the main Walmart store go up as fast as it did. So yeah, if they can get the plans to us later this year, or get the plans submitted later this year, then we expect sometime next year. But they didn't have an actual time frame that I recall.
Okay.
And that's all I have on business and industry in my paper, unless anybody has any questions about anything else.
Very busy. Parks and Rec.
We have our second scheduled music event for in the park down over American Legion Park tomorrow night. It is Blue Ridge Thunder, which is bluegrass music. So everything kind of open up at, everybody will start arriving at the park around 6:30. Music starts at 7, goes until 9. We don't have a food truck. The food truck that was scheduled double booked. And so they are going to the bigger event, which I can't blame them. But we're trying to see if there's anything we can come up with for just real small food ideas or something that maybe we could do on our own. But we're not going to promise anything at this point. Cecilia and I were throwing around some ideas today. So. And then the next thing under Parks and Rec, I put it in the memo to council, and I don't know if you want to take it up tonight, is about the project for the park benches that the American Legion Post approached the town about. The cost came in more than what they anticipated, I think, when they proposed doing this project. I did get a notification today of a donation that somebody wants to make in the amount of $2,000. We haven't received it yet, but I'm very confident that it will come through. And they said that we could put that towards the park fund, and then if we wanted to use that towards one of those benches, so it would minimize even the cost of what the town would then have.
So basically, get $12,000 for the benches for about $2,000.
Right, something like that, yeah.
Right,
And I think everybody saw the pictures of the benches.
Yeah, one for each service.
So yeah, so the benches would have, yeah, each branch of the military is engraved or cut into the metal of those benches, so.
So basically, I assume that's about $2,000 from us.
It would be about, yeah.
Basically, we end up buying one of the benches, and that donation buys the other bench, and they buy the other 4.
Right, okay, exactly.
We want to make a motion to buy the one bench.
I'll make that motion.
Okay.
To buy the bench.
Okay, do I have a second? Thank you, John. John, we'll let John get one today.
I couldn't hear him, or I would have said anything.
Y'all went at the same time. Any further discussion? Okay.
Yes.
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 Okay, cool. That's it for Parks and Rec?
That's all that I have, unless anybody has any questions.
Nothing on finance right now, I'm assuming?
No, nothing on finance right now.
Personnel? Chief has something.
Yeah, go ahead with yours first.
Well, I could put this in the district report, but I sent you all an email today, Sergeant Turner's contact. He will obviously, if you can't get a hold of me, he will be your next point of contact in my absence. Secondly, I hired an officer to fill the vacancy, William Sargent. He lives in town of Shenandoah. He will start with us tomorrow, so if you're around, if you want to like meet him, come by the police department. If not, I'll try to get him around at some point to meet all the council.
And maybe we can have you come in at next month's meeting too,
Yeah, I can do that.
if it works with schedules and
Yeah, it works
stuff.
for schedule. I think it will.
And your other officer, is it too early to talk about that, or?
I'll mention that in the next meeting, just in case.
Okay, once that's solid.
We are in the process of hiring another officer. We can say that much.
Yeah, we can say that,
Yeah.
okay.
There's still one, jinx, I don't want to jinx it.
Okay, okay. But everyone got the memo on it, so.
Right.
Once we can announce it to the public, we'll be ready then. Okay, and you have
We're going to begin our process soon to advertise for the assistant treasurer / billing specialist position, because Michelle verbally gave me tendered her resignation to attend to positive family matters.
It's a great opportunity for one, I think all soon-to-be grandmas will enjoy. Okay, no, it's great. It's great. I'm happy for her. Sad for us, happy for her. Okay. Anything else on personnel?
Just again, thank you to all the town team members for everything that they've been doing. I mean, everybody's been putting forth way extra effort the past several weeks to keep everything in check and, you know, transitioning through, police department went through all the transition, and then new items popping up here and there with personnel and then all of the other stuff, plus trying to keep all of the normal activities going, so.
Thank you also.
Yes.
Not all,
Yeah,
but thank you
also.
also. Did a great job.
I was talking to AC at like 11:30 at night sometimes.
We were a little frustrated. Late night texting frustration, so, yeah.
Catherine? What do you think?
I mean, I don't know if you all have had a chance to look through the ordinance or if taking the bid marries you to the ordinance. I mean, I did a quick speed read, it looks good. But if you would like a chance to look through it and ask questions, that would be my only reason to delay. But from what I looked at, it looks, all the parts are there.
Okay. So it's up to the will of council as to which way you want to do that. And you could, if you would like to look through it, well, or have, I would say if you wanted to have legal counsel look through it further and make sure you could make a motion that as long as legal counsel was okay with it, you could approve it that way. As long as
Yeah,
legal counsel-
that would be fine. And I'm happy, like I said, I read through it, I didn't see anything that stood out as, not favorable to the town. It's got indemnity provisions and a bond and everything, so. But if you would like me to do a deeper dive tomorrow and, give you any feedback before you approve, then that's fine.
But we can make an motion saying we approve as long as it's, and then you say that again? I like
As
that.
long as legal counsel gives their approval on it. The only reason I say that is that way it doesn't
That's
drag
right.
out until next
Then we
month.
don't have to
for
drag,
approval.
then we'd have to drag other people in.
And I'll try to get your response tomorrow. Like I said, I did read through it, I just did it fast.
And I know with the ordinance itself, as long as the ordinance hasn't changed, it's the same one that I had sent to Quentin before.
Right.
Okay, yeah.
I can't remember if you were Quentin.
And I can
Remember
double
that
check,
one,
make sure
so-
it's the latest version, because I was on those emails, but I wasn't looking as carefully as he was, so.
Right.
But yeah,
Okay.
I can just confirm that.
Anybody want to make a motion similar to what AC was talking about? AC, we approve it,
Contingent upon.
contingent upon legal counsel's approval.
I'll make a motion to approve it contingent upon legal counsel's approval.
So, second.
I'll second.
Okay, any further discussion? Around the room?
Yes.
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 Yes. Okay. Down to the museum. I know you got something for us today.
I don't have anything new, but we can talk about something else if you want to do.
Let's talk a little bit.
Let's talk about the post office.
Okay.
Down in Old Part of Town where the bookkeeping place is. There's a big building built there by Mason Bear in 1844. And 1860, you heard this before, we had a pretty successful walking tour, didn't we? In 1860, W. Kent's opened a store there, and he also was postmaster. And I have a couple of documents of one 1894 and one 1895, and the post office box rent was a nickel for 3 months, 20 cents a year. So now I think I'm paying about $60-some a year for my post office box. But anyway, the building was there until it was torn down in 1930, and then the filling station was built. And well, let's go to the bank now. The bank was built down in Old Part of Town in 1908, and was there until 1953. Well, I skipped part of the post office, but the old post office building in Old Part of Town was built in 1912 by Charlie Forney.
That's the round.
Yeah, yeah. And then that moved over across the river in 1953. And into the new bank building, which was built in 1952, and that bank building cost $100,000 when it was built. And the post office was in the left-hand side, and the bank also moved across the river in 1953. And of course, they were on the right side of the building. And then in 1974, the post office left that building, and they're where they're at now. It was 1974. And that's kind of something about the post office and bank. We have 6 bridges down there where the bridge is out. The first 2, we don't have any dates on. And then the 3rd bridge was built in 1840 and washed away in 1843. And then we went 41 years, I think, 41 years, I think, in 1884, our big famous covered bridge was built. And that was one of the most famous landmarks in all Rockingham County. And that lasted until 1938, when the bridge that we all remember was built. And then that lasted until 1996, about 3 months after Hurricane Fran, I think, because I remember I talked about before watching the water splash up across it.
Yep.
And that's enough.
Here, you got something for us?
Yes, 3 weeks ago, Modern Woodman had sponsored a walking tour of the historical part of Timberville. Bev was our guide, did an excellent job. But Bev is not only our town historian, but he is now, he got his certificate, nice, from Modern Woodman as a hometown hero.
Congratulations.
You need some kind of shirt or something.
Yeah.
Let's get one. Okay, anything else?
No, just our new exhibit is signage, you know, the different big signs. It's really nice. It's a good exhibit, so.
Okay.
I recommend everyone go and see that.
Awesome. Any other businesses council had to bring forward at this time?
I've reached out to Public Works Committee about a meeting.
Yes.
I will reach out to Parks and Rec about a meeting too, when we discuss the signage.
And
the signage stuff.
Whatever that Wednesday, it was a Wednesday
So-
with the choice?
You are
But what day was that?
Yeah.
the 23rd, I believe, isn't it? I think it's July 23rd, so. Okay.
Yeah, I can't do
And
Wednesdays.
that's gonna be in the evening,
Well,
right?
that would be for Public Works. So we'll get Parks and
For
Rec set
other-
up. We'll get Parks and
okay.
Rec set up some other
And
time.
what time are you thinking, AC?
What time suits everybody?
The last one, for Parks and Rec.
For Public Works. Public Works. Because we actually have a date established.
John's on it, what time do you get?
6.
6 o'clock? Okay.
If that works well for everybody.
Are you available that day, Isaac?
I'm looking here. What day?
July 23rd.
I don't know. I'm leaving for Tennessee the last week of July.
Okay.
What, the 23rd is
It's a Wednesday.
I should be available.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
If I'm not, I'll text you and let you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
23rd. Okay,
It's 6 o'clock, so it's
That's fine.
6 o'clock. Okay.
Yeah, we'll do that.
And I do have something else if you're finished.
Yeah, I'll send out an email to her about Parks and Rec.
Parks,
To
okay.
get that.
Sure.
Okay, Sharon?
But, you know, we had a really big hiccup with the trash transition. And I understand that because I've talked to the trash guys. You know, the brand new truck had an issue and everything. My biggest disappointment is people going on Facebook and slamming the town workers, town council, AC, and the mayor because of what happened. I am so disappointed in some of the people that did that, and they said nasty things. I'm not on Facebook. I don't think I ever will be, but I got phone calls and I was read some of the comments. I was very disappointed.
People need someone to blame.
Well, you know, I got phone calls about it. I called AC, I called the town office, you know, I talked to Melinda or Michelle, you know, but don't go on Facebook and say, we did not do our jobs. That's all I have to say.
Okay, thank you, Sharon. Any other business? Okay, we'll go down to public comment. Got a couple visitors, anybody want to comment on something? Greg?
Yeah, a few things I'd like to make comment on and follow on what you said. And I think that town council has been voted to council by 400 or 500 votes each time you get voted, and those citizens should be in here to help run the town. But and I feel bad because I'm not in here all the time, offering my free opinion. But then on some other comments, it seems like I'm here on the opposite side of where I've been for my whole life, in that building and developing has been what I've done. But then as I look at the town and I look at what happened in Texas with the floods out there, and I look at what our town could possibly be in for the future, and then, you know, given the best advice of engineers and what they can project out for the town and what might happen to the town, and you have to look at the water runoff in the town, what we're responsible for, starts up here at the hospital and goes down in behind the Spitzer property, and then takes in all of Food Line and that shopping center and Walmart, and then Schweitzer's and Spitzer's property out there, and then the Garber property in behind there, and then if you go on down to past the sewer treatment plant, well, there's probably 300 or 400 houses there. And if that was all converted to blacktop and runoff, and we had as much rain as they had out there, we'd be in serious doo-doo. And I don't know how that you can project forward. Engineers can, and that's what might be the liability for the town, but I would just suggest that you err on caution whenever you approve anything that you look into, the water and sewer and the runoff and the EPA and everything that a town could be possibly liable for. Anyway, then see, I can't argue, I said that, being on the other side for so many years. But I was made aware of the problem with the retention pond at Tractor Supply, that they may have had a problem there a couple of weeks ago, that they need help on the drainage of that. Were you aware of that?
Yeah, we met one Tuesday, yeah.
All right.
You know, and I still have an issue with that, because I was under the impression it was a retention pond. Then when we had the meeting Tuesday evening in their backyard, it's no retention pond. But on the plans, is it a retention pond or not?
No.
Okay.
But they're not done yet.
Well, they haven't done anything,
No,
right? Like,
So,
they haven't done anything.
It will slow, I'm sure.
It's
Can it
basically,
back anything up? No. That's
It
not-
can to a certain extent.
point, yes, but it's not like Sharon said, it's not a retention pond.
There's
It
basically-
wasn't- It was, it might say that, but that's, when you look at the drawings.
and an detention pond's only required for the water that comes off the Tractor Supply itself. But it's basically a dam with piping on the end that slows it down, is what it is. And it will, on a big event like Greg's talking about, it will back it up around to 5 or 6 feet or whatever it is, but eventually will come through. It just slows it down. So,
And the county's engineer is meeting with Tractor Supply's engineer
To read
this
the
coming
plan.
week,
Yeah.
just to confirm that
It's
they're
not,
good with everything.
yeah, it's not too late to tweak it a little bit. so.
Well, one of the other things with talking about stormwater and everything, the Central Shenandoah Plain District Commission, we just got notified of that this week, that they were awarded a grant to develop a flood resiliency plan for the region, and we're part of, you had to opt in or out of it, and Timberville opted to be in part of it because it obviously just made sense to do that. And so, and I talked to the Plain District Commission too about what are their options, what's out there that can help the town of Timberville design something that might be able to, because you're right, I mean, during that last rain event, I walked from the Tractor Supply site all the way up and remapped it. I hadn't walked it before. I thought it was about 125 acres of drain area that came down to that one point that goes under 211. It's probably closer to 300 or maybe even over 300 acres of land, because it's all the way up, if you go all the way up Lone Pine Drive past the Spitzer and Swope properties, and right before you come across the top of the hill there, it goes down to 42 at the old body shop. all of that flows down and eventually would come down to that point. So it is a significant amount of drainage area that comes to that one point that is under 211, so.
Well, thank you, Greg. You got anything else?
Well, that's what I want to comment, other than, I thought, I remember the property in behind the gas station down there by the railroad tracks, that Holtzman was going to donate some property to put a ramp in there for access to the river.
We talked about that.
I'm sorry, I was at the wrong guy, I was at 7-Eleven. I know what you're talking about, yeah. We had talked about that years ago, and we never, I don't know whatever happened
It
with
never
that.
came to it.
Yeah, fruition, yeah. I don't know.
Well, he was busy building his one in Moorefield, West Virginia, and then he said he would get back with
Is that what it
us.
was? That's been quite a few years.
It never came through.
I don't know what it was.
But then we ended up with a ramp at the park, so we were kind of.
Yeah, I went down there and looked at that park thing. I
Yeah, that's
haven't
nice.
determined if it's handicap accessible yet or not to get into the river, but that's the only comment is whenever the town does any type of development or sidewalks or ramps that they consider that we're all getting older and sooner or later we're going to have to get around in a wheelchair. So just keep that in mind whenever you have to go use it.
Absolutely. Understood. Thank you, sir.
All right, thanks.
Anybody else? Okay, then our meeting